ko pihi mana toku mahi. So I'm a detective or police officer here in Northland. I work out of Whangarei, and we run a few kids programs with the police who get involved with kids that are in a bit of strife. We work with other agencies to help these kids get on track. One of my colleagues actually looks after them here in Waitangi. Her name's Gail Shepherd, and she does some good work with these kids, brings them from Otangarei Trust in Whangarei, brings up a whole group of them, boys and girls, who been kind of led astray and just need to get back onto the right tracks. And by coming here, some of them, they haven't known really much in their life. They've only known the struggle that their family is. They don't know anything better or anything more than that. And we bring them here with the hope of helping them so that they can have a sense of belonging and somewhere to go and reconnect with their culture, to help them, to give them the tools to move forward in life, knowing that what they have is not where it stops, so that they can use the tools that they learn here, such as discipline and manaakitanga, whanaungatanga. So manaakitanga is hospitality, caring, just looking after each other. Whanaungatanga is a sense of family. Although we might be of different blood or different hapu iwi, when you come here to our waka kaupapa, we're all whānau. We come together as one, and that's how it should be. There shouldn't really be division. It doesn't matter what creed or what background you come from. So I come from the police, some people come from gangs, people living the struggle, they come out of nowhere. But once we all come together, it's whanaungatanga, manaakitanga, coming together as one, as a whānau, ko tahitanga, to give them those tools, to teach them those tools. Hopefully they can take that away and use those tools, rely on those tools to make themselves better and to strive for something better than what they have. They're just talking about the parts of the waka here. So at the front here we have what we call the tauihu. As you look down the hull, there's 3 sections to a waka. So the front section is called te ihu, the middle section is called a wainga, and the back section is called te kei. So the hull, for instance, on ngā toki matawhauro, it is made up of 3 logs, because if it was in one piece, the log would snap and break. So they've broken it down into three parts with a dove shaped cut in the join for strength. And what they do is the front part of the hull, which they call the homie, is actually lifted a little bit so that it doesn't dive into the waves as it crashes over. These side panels of the waka, they're called the rawawa. These black strips down the side, they're called the pāwai. The pāwai and the rawawa are connected by lashings. The pāwai connects the rawawa, the homie or the hull, together. So it holds it together, and it's quite a strong part of the waka. These strips that go along the top that hold the waka apart, they're called the taumanu. The carving on the back, the very back, is called a taurapa. When these wakas are dressed up on special occasions, as you can see in the waka here, they've got these black sticks with white feathery round circles on it. Those are called the karu, or karu atua. They're the eyes of God. And they stick out the front here. We're basically giving our waka glasses so that it can see where it's going. And along with those karu, there's like a tail that comes off the top of the taurapa and reaches down into the water. That's what we call a fiore. So the main purpose of the fiore is to release bad vibes or the bad wairua. Instead of it going through the men and collecting in the men, it goes out the back through the fiore and is released into the ocean. It's almost like holding a an electric fence and grabbing your mate at the same time. So you won't feel it, but your mate does. So it all goes into the ocean. The men actually on the waka, they're called kaihoi. The paddles are called hoi. So this is a hoi. This part here is the upoko, the tinana, rata or arero. So arero, but the rata on this side and the whata on this side. The hoi is used by our kaihoi, so that's their mahi, that's why kai comes before hoi. They're the kaihoi. The person in the middle, he's a hautu or kai hautu. His job is to be the leader, the guy that stands up in the middle and does all the directions. And at the very back there is a steerer, a kai uringi. He steers the waka and makes sure you don't crash into the rocks or get stuck. But he has a special hoi as well. It's a bit bigger. That's called an uringi, the steering hoi.
Let's start first of all with the whole idea of mana moana. What does that mean to us as Māori?
I suppose it's got lots of layers, but I think in its topmost layer, I guess it's just that whole idea of reclaiming our korero, reclaiming our mahi, and being able to share that reclamation with everybody else in Aotearoa. So it's not actually something that's only done by or talked about by a small section of our community, but by everybody. But I think on a bigger scale, by seeing wakas like these that have sailed thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of miles across the ocean, that have sailed to places that have been, until very recently, just a part of our korero, but not as such, not a part of a reality for a lot of our people. So then what happens is you're able to start recreating the old stories, reactivating kaumātua who remember old stories, getting all that korero out about all the different moana and waka kaupapa that's still survived till this time. And then, putting them in song, putting them in waiata, haka, poi, all those kind of things, because we're not just singing about something people thought might have happened, but we're talking about stuff that actually happened. Well, I think it's appropriate in that it builds on what we've seen over the last few days. Just shows people that the waka isn't just a whisper, so it didn't just come in for one day and then disappear, but it's a voice. And it's a voice that's travelled thousands of miles over many ocean waves to get here, as our Samoan whānau have shown. And so when that voice becomes more than a whisper, then it takes hold. And if we combine that whisper with the roar of kapahaka, that will certainly be a great thing.
Hey! Ho! 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 Ho!